First time I ever had any substantial clean time was thanks to the Department of Corrections. In 2011, 2012, caught a pretty big case. I was drunk driving, out again, got up, eating some fucking Xanax, drinking, partying, went and decided to leave, go get in my truck and take a fucking ride, go meet with some buddies and hang out and be a fucking idiot like I always have. And I got up that morning after I got through the withdrawals of shaking and sweating and puking, all that shit, got about 7 or 8 beers down me. I was able to fucking drive, because that was my normal, was being that drunk, being at least like .3, on the Richter scale of alcohol. So I go get in my truck and I go party and shit. And this is when I just met my baby's mother, Christy, and I went to my buddy's house and I'm drinking. It's about noon. I'm already hammered, drunker and shit, and I'd only seen Christy maybe 3 or 4 times before this, but I knew her as a child. But I just started kind of seeing her, and I was at my buddy's house and I just shaved one of my buddy's heads bald, being a fucking ignorant ass. She pulls up and sees me out there drinking and getting all fucked up, man. I'm ashamed of myself because I don't want her to know I'm a drunken asshole like that, but I told her, yeah, I'd had a few beers and I wasn't working or nothing that day, and she goes to, she said she was going to take off work, go home and grab her other truck, come back and get me. We'll go out the river, hang out, take some pictures and shit. Mind you, she was a really good girl and I was a fucking bum, undercover fucking straight piece of shit, man, and I didn't want her to know. This is the girl I have my 6-year-old with right now. I didn't want her to know what type of a real piece of shit I was, so I told her, okay, I would wait there. As soon as she burned out, I was trying to fuck this other girl that was at my buddy's house, so I was hollering at her. She gave me some Xanax and shit, and I knew Christy was coming back. I don't know what gave me the bright idea to jump in my truck and take off, but I did. I took off out of there. I don't know where I was going. My buddy said I drove by and talked to him for a few minutes, but I don't remember that shit either. Next thing you know, I'm up on North Grand and in Springfield, and I go to cross the road, man, and I just wake up in the middle of some traffic. I was so fucked up, I just kind of like come to in the middle of some traffic. Some car hit me in the ass and pulls to the side of the road. I pull the other side of the road like I got a license and shit, right? It was about like my 18th or 19th driving on a revoke. And I'm drunk as fuck, so he yells over, hey, bro, yeah, you cool and shit? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool, you cool? I'll be over there in a minute. I'll go to get in my truck, act like I'm gonna pull over to his car, exchange information, which I know I'm fucking not. As soon as I slid back in my truck, I threw it in drive and burn out, man. Well, you get this fucking hero that jumps behind me, starts chasing me around, trying to get my plate number and shit, and running me. I mean, I'm up and down every street on the north end of fucking Springfield, running through yards, houses, fences. Hit a couple houses. I hit like 16 cars, parked cars, dumpsters through alleys. I couldn't shake this dude in his van, but I remember just being so fucked up I couldn't hardly drive anyway. And I remember going through an intersection, man, and the cops kept trying to pit me, knock me off the side of the road, and they couldn't do it. But they got me when I was coming through a 4-way, man, and bam, someone hit the side of my fucking car. All my windows blew out and shit. And I fucking didn't even get to see because I'm blind in my left eye. I got shot when I was 15, lost my left eye, so I didn't see. I just jumped back over the passenger or the driver's seat and fucking take off fucking driving. And come around a couple more corners and my fucking truck decides to stall out. This is after I went through 2 roadblocks too, where the cops smashed through their cars and shit. They finally get me stopped, man. They fucking snatched me out of the fucking truck. And they're beating the shit out of me, man. I mean, with a pistol and everything. Felicia, you know who you are, fucking chief of police, he about killed me. But I just kept screaming I'm a heroin addict. I don't know why I wasn't a heroin addict yet. I was just an alcoholic fucking dope fiend. But I wasn't a everyday user like I was. I don't know why it came out of my mouth, but it worked because the ambulance came and got me. Next thing you know, I wake up in the hospital all fucked up on benzos and everything. I open my eyes and it's my mom and my baby's mother standing over the top of me, man. And they said, the cop said, you really hurt somebody, man. And I thought I was fucked up too. I'm a piece of shit, man. I acted like I was paralyzed for like 2 days. I kept running shit up and down my feet and I wouldn't even move them. So they kept me in the hospital because I knew I was going to go to jail. And I didn't want to go to fucking jail yet because I was going through withdrawals from all the alcohol and drugs I was on. So as soon as they were running tests on me and shit, I knew what to say. Man, I've been doing this my whole life. I, started talking shit. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself. So they ended up putting me upstairs in the psych ward, trying to, and they found out all the drugs and alcohol was in my system. They were gonna detox me. Of course, I had to go to jail. I was on my 7th DUI. Actually, it was like my 20th DUI, but I got a bunch of them erased away back in the day. But it was on my 7th one again, DUI, and now I almost killed. I guess when I was coming through the intersection, a guy was coming through on a Harley, a 61-year-old man, and he slammed into the side of my truck. Well, I slammed into him because I was fucking hammered, and I thought it was the cops hitting me in the side. That's why I kept going. The cops seen me just take off after I hit the guy, and they thought I was, that the lives were dispensable to me. They thought I didn't give a fuck about anybody's well-being. Then that's when they started trying to run me off the road and shooting at me and shit. But I didn't know this until I woke up in the hospital, and they came up there, the paperwork, and I had 4 Class X's, 6 to 30 on each one of them. And I'm just a broke-ass piece of shit, man. I've been real garbage, man. I was on my last leg. I've been on so many drugs and alcohol. I don't even know how I could even walk or talk. My body was deteriorated. I was a really fucking skinny mess. I got pictures of it and shit, just horrible. And lo and behold, though, Christy she was like a blessing. God sent her into my life like an angel. She paid cash or wrote a check to Cadigan, one of my lawyers, man, and sent him up to the hospital to talk to me. I never had a paid lawyer in my life. I ain't never had shit in my life. And here this girl, my baby's mother now. Not at the time she wasn't. She was I just only dated her a couple times, I knew her as a child, but she paid for this lawyer for me. She gave me a shot, man. She liked me. And I don't know why she liked me. I was garbage. But I put on a good show. I made girls think that I was somebody I wasn't. And I was getting ready to run her through the ringer, like I did every other woman, take them for all her money and, fuck her, and, just be a piece of shit like I was. I'm just trying to tell you guys where I came from. This is the first time was when I changed my life around. She saved my life, her and God saved my life. Gave me something to hope for. I was in the hospital for 14 days. They got all the drugs and alcohol out of my system. And I was like, think about as a defense of how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to get out of this? I got a lawyer now. A lawyer come up to me and he sits down in my hospital room and he says, "Hey, Joe, my name's Ryan Cadigan." I'm like, "Okay, man, here, take back this fucking cheeseburger, bud. I didn't order no damn or I didn't order whatever this was. I ordered a cheeseburger. Go get it." I thought the guy worked for the fucking hospital. He was a lawyer. He said, "No, bud, I'm your lawyer." I said, "I ain't got no fucking lawyer. I ain't got no money. I ain't never had no fucking money for no lawyer." He said, "Christy Painter down the hallway just paid me, wrote me a check, $5,000. I am your lawyer." I'm like, "What?" Wow. So yeah, I get to talking to him and he says, "Well, you're looking at 6 to 30, 4 times, 4 Class X's. You're in a hell of a lot of trouble, bud. I don't know what I can do. It's your bond's $500,000. And I was like, "Well, fuck, she just gave you all that money, man." I said, "They're gonna lock me up for life anyway. What the fuck? Go get her. Tell her you ain't, I don't need to give you that money." He's like, "Well, I can help you. I know people. I prosecuted you for 13 years. Don't you know who I am?" And I got to talk to him, looking at him. Yeah, this is a motherfucker that sent me to the joint before and been prosecuting me half my life. So he knew my record. But he said, "I rub shoulders with people. I can get you, at least time if you're willing to wait in the county." So I went to the county and sat for a couple of years, but I said, what's the minimum on this shit? He was like, "I just told you, looking at 630 on 4 of them. I said, "Well, then it's 6, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, but you got 4. I said, "All right, I want 6 years. That's what you're going to get me, motherfucker, for that money. 6 years, and that's it." And I started planning out this big defense, how the guy was chasing me in the van, and that was the whole reason I fucking that was the whole reason I even wrecked. I would have never wrecked or hurt nobody if this guy wouldn't have started chasing me, right? Which is the truth, but I'm still a piece of shit, and I'm the one that fucking decided to get in a goddamn running bullet that morning, 3,000-pound cannon driving around the streets all fucked up, But I didn't realize this at this time, man. I just knew I was the same old Joe. I was in survival, man. I had to lie, I didn't care about anybody's feelings, man, in my life. I had to lie and do whatever the fuck I had to do to get out of trouble, man, at all costs. And protect this fucking alcoholism, this drug addiction I got, man. I can't go to jail. I need drugs in my life. I hate myself. I don't even know myself. And what I do know, I hate. So, the guy, you know, tells me I'm getting 6 to 30, man, and I'm sitting in the jail, man, and I'm withering away. My liver's broke down, like a third of my liver, man. I'm almost dead. I'm running. I barely can eat. I can't hold a sandwich. I can't write a letter because I can't stop shaking. I'm a fucking mess. I can't even hardly put a sentence together, a conversation. And this girl still hung on, man, and liked something out of me. I don't know why she liked me, but this is how I know God's in my life. He sent her to me, man, and she gave me a shot. And every day I sobered up longer and longer in that county. I sat in that county a couple of years every day, and my body rejuvenated itself, you know. And my fucking organs, I thought they were gone, man, but I got up to 200. I went to jail like 159 pounds, and I got up to 235. I worked out every day, you know, but I changed my life in that county jail, and that's kind of what I was wanting to talk about, man. When I went in there, I was still buying pills off the deck and doing what I always do in jail and prisons, and that's get high, you know, or drink scope or whatever to get fucked up. I never had been sober before, and here I was 37 years old looking at life in the penitentiary. And I already been locked up half my life in these institutions, psych wards, jails, prisons, and shit, you know. I mean, I didn't want to go back. I just wanted to die, man. I just wanted to catch a case to get me a murder so I can go down to the penitentiary and be with the old heads, man, and live the rest of my life out in prison, you know, for murder and not come home, because I didn't want to. I couldn't take it, man. I couldn't take it. I was suicidal. I hated myself so bad I couldn't be in my own skin. But this girl talked to me every day. She put money on my books, and I started thinking, man. I started praying, man. I lost touch with everything. I was so fucked up for so many years. I started praying, man. And then one night I just said, you know what? I'm going to stop buying the pills on the deck. I'm going to stop doing all this shit. I'm going to give this shit a try. I'm going to try to get sober in this jail. And I quit, man. And a few months after that, man, I've been building this big defense, you know, on this guy for chasing me around. And it's the reason I almost killed this 61-year-old man. And the reason I fucking almost killed all them cops in the car wrecks and going through the roadblocks and shit, you know. And I had a spiritual experience. I met God again one night in my cell, man. About 9 months into it, I was laying in my cell and I had a cellie. He was on the floor, and you know, he's a big dude, one of my best friends, Big Mike. And I woke up about fucking 1 in the morning, man. My room was brighter than it ever had been, man, but it wasn't no lights on it. It was just a big bright light. But I seen him on the floor sleeping, and I didn't want to freak out. I didn't want to yell or cry or anything. You know, this guy's a big dude. Ain't supposed to cry in jail. I'm a fucking man, you know what I mean? And but my conscience just hit me, man. I just started thinking about all my life, the terror I had put in this life, man. I was sober for the first time, man, and I thought about the 61-year-old man I almost killed on the motorcycle, and his family and his people, you know, and all the lives I've affected my whole life, beating the fuck out of people, running around shooting at people taking their shit, you know, robbing them and mugging them and masking up on them and just doing this shit non-stop my whole life. And not just that, just my mother and everybody. Everywhere I went, it was just a fucking hurricane, a tornado behind me. I hurt everybody. I took from everybody. I was just garbage, man. And it all hit me at one time in this cell, and I just broke and I started crying. My cellie was on the floor, and I don't know how he didn't wake up, man. I'm just sobbing like a fucking kid, man. My lawyer had been scared to death of me, man, because I got real big and I had a real bad fucking temper back then. And every time he would say 10 years or 15 years, I would fucking throw the table in the fucking little room and scare the shit out of him. He hated to come see me and shit, you know. Hey, man, my girl gave you all this fucking money. You're going to do what the fuck I say. And if you say 10 years again, motherfucker, I'm going to put you in the fucking ground. You know, I was really fucking crazy, and he was really scared of me. And so after that night, when God came and gave me a conscience back, and I fucking thought about everything I did in my life and shit, man, all my feelings came back in one night. I ran down the stairs when they popped the doors that morning, man, and I remember getting on the phone, and I called my baby's mom, and I said, hey, Muff, I said, call Ryan, man, my lawyer, and tell him to get up here and see me, man. I need to talk to him. She's like, I don't think he's coming to see you after shit you pulled the other day. You know, I got all crazy with him and shit, and fucking slammed the table up against the wall, and he had to hit the panic button in the room to get the fuck away from me, you know. And I told her, no, just tell him, man, please just come see me one more time. I need to holler at him and this and that. And he sure enough came up there about 3 or 4 hours later, and I walked in the little interview room, and I'm sitting there, man. I'm sitting down, and usually that's not the way I am. And he comes in, opens the fucking door, and stands right by the door by the panic button, you know, because he don't know if I'm gonna snap the fuck out or what. And I said, sit down, bro. And he was like, sit down. He said, man, you look different, Joe. He said, what's going on, bro? You know, kind of freaking him out. And I said, sit down, man. I said, I just want to tell you something, man. I said, something happened to me last night, brother. And that defense and all that shit we've been working on for the last year, you know, blaming that shit on everybody, I don't want to do that no more, man. I did this shit. I said, I've been running from shit my whole life doing shit, man, and never taking responsibility for nothing, man. So I just want to let you know that I'm pleading guilty to all this shit, man. I'm just telling the truth about my life and where I came from and how this county jail saved my life, man. It has. It saved my life. I started a Bible study, you know, and I started AA meetings and NA meetings in the jail. And, you know, and I changed. I didn't even know I changed, man. But helping other people is what changed me without knowing I changed. I started working with other guys, man, that came up like me and getting them to open up and talk. And we all talk to each other about this shit, man, in these meetings in this jail. You know what I'm saying? And the judge hated me that was getting ready to send me away. But a couple years into the county, I called my lawyer and I said, I can't take no more, man. I know I'm on a media case and my bond's $500,000 and they're trying to put me away forever, but I can't take it. I'm gonna kill somebody in this county jail. I gotta get the fuck out of here. You gotta send me to prison. And he said, man, you can't wait one more term, man. We can get you down, you know, to at least another, you know, where we can get you home in 10 years. And I said, no, man, I got to go, man. You go tell her I'm ready to take my fucking time. I'll take the open plea. So he got it dropped down. All them class 6s dropped down to one class 1, but they wanted 15 years. And the only way I wasn't going to get the 15 years is if the judge decided to like me out of all these years. And she wasn't going to do that, you know. But I went in, I said, listen, you know, I'm going to do what I can. I'll go in and tell her, you know, how this place has saved me and shit. And then whatever she gives me, she gives me. I got to go, man. I trust in God and I trust in my, you know, what's going on. I just had to get out of there. So I go to court that March 6th. Okay, this is the crazy shit. I go to court and my lawyer says, you know, you're taking an open plea. You got to go in there and if you want the time you're going to get, you got to get it yourself, man. And this was another God thing, man. I just wasn't worried about nothing. Everybody told me to write down this statement, do this, all this and that shit. I didn't write nothing down, man. I just went, you know, because I just wanted to be honest for the first time in my entire life. This was the first time I was ever honest, you know, and I walked in the courtroom and the state's attorney got up and fucking slammed me and made me look like a career criminal, like a monster. Which I can't blame her, you know, and, you know, talking about I just almost killed another guy at 61 years old and did all this and that, you know, and it just, it destroyed me, man. And my mother was there with me and she had to get on the stand and my lawyer already prepared me for shit he was going to ask her, you know, and he did. He asked her some really hard shit and that's my mom, man. And when I went in there, my mom got on stand and my lawyer asked about everything, how I grew up, how I was beat, how I was homeless, how I was a child of an alcoholic and a drug addict and never had nothing, never knew any rules, never had any rules, and was raised by total drug addicts and nobody wanted me. I'd already been given away 2 or 3 times by the time I was 8 or 9 years old, and I don't know how I survived through the shit, but anyway, she told the truth about everything without blinking an eye, man, and it broke my heart and it broke me. I cried so fucking hard, man. I ain't cried in 30 years, and I cried so fucking hard in that courtroom that they couldn't understand me. I couldn't talk, you know, because I broke down and I told the judge, I said, Your Honor, this jail, man, has saved my life, and I don't care what you give me, you know, I deserve every bit of it, and I understand that. And I had no idea what was getting ready to happen, but there was witnesses that came and got on the stand in my behalf. No one's ever liked me in my entire life, but from helping other people in the county and sharing my story, my life, and my hope with other guys in the county jails, there's 5 of them that came to the jail, came to my court date. I didn't even know they had my court date. They came to my court date and got on stand, and they were all clean and sober, and they all told the judge and told everybody it was due to me, you know, in the meetings I started and me helping them and working with them. And another old guy came, rest in peace, that used to come from the outside. He got on the stand and he told him, you know, this ain't the same guy I met 2 years ago. Joe used to come to the meetings, and the only reason he came was to see other inmates from other blocks. He didn't do shit but fuck off and make fun of everybody, and it's because I was still the same me until I started being the person that I always was, but I didn't know it because I had never been clean. The only thing I did was stay sober and clean. And then that judge in that courtroom that day, it saved my life. I broke down and cried so fucking hard, like I haven't cried in 30 years. And the judge was going to give me 14 and a half years. She had me come to the bench and look at the paper, and she said this was what you was going to get today. But after all the people got on the stand, and went to town for me for helping save their life and getting sober with them, she gave me leniency, man. I was blessed that day when she only gave me 6 years, 6.5 years, including the time I did in the county. I told her to keep that time, because that county saved my life. It showed me a way out for once in my life. That's what it took for me to get clean. That's what it took for me to turn my life around. I had to be plucked out of society altogether, and a person that outlink on the phone, man, and God, God and abstinence and sitting in the jail, thought maybe there was another way in life. Maybe there was a different way than what I've been living my whole life. I'd been drunk my entire life. I had no idea who I was. I was scared to death. I just realized that I'd been a scared coward my whole fucking life because no one ever taught me how to live. No one ever taught me how to do anything except manipulate, steal, lie, and cheat and get over on everybody else, And that's all I did my entire life till I was 37 years old. And thank God that I sat in that county jail and I had a judge look at me and tell me, after 13 and a half years of being on this stand, it was a breath of fresh air to see someone come in here in this courtroom and genuinely have remorse. Because I was crying, and I told the family, I thought the family was sitting behind me in the courtroom, and I told them, I don't know why God kills babies. I don't know why your family got hurt to save my life, because I'm garbage. I don't know why, your family got hurt due to me being reckless and careless and drunk and an addict in a truck, and I almost killed your family member. But it saved my life, man, and it saved my life. No matter if you give me life in prison right now, I'm so alive. I've never been able to wake up and wash my face or brush my teeth and remember what I did the day before, the night before. I haven't done that in so many years. I hadn't shit solid, in 28 years until I went, and did that time the last time. It was just, I was so free, and I was locked up, but I was free from addiction. I was free from the shit, but I was locked up in a brick fucking cage in a coffin, and that's what it took from me. But lo and behold, man, the disease is the disease, because 8.5 years when I came home, I stayed clean for another 2.5 years, and I had a little boy, a beautiful little boy, and had a beautiful life. And I white knuckled it. I didn't go to meetings, I didn't go to groups, but I changed my life around when I got out of prison. Because that judge told me, she said, the reason I'm giving you a break like this is because of the lives you saved while you were in this county jail and the lives you're going to save when you get home. And I need you to advocate for people that are just like you when you get out of prison. And that's why I'm giving you the break. And I didn't want that to go in vain. And that's why when I did get out, the only thing I didn't do was work a program and advocate for addiction and this disease. What I did do is come home and build an empire, and turned all my fucking sick streetways into buying and selling cars. I'm a carpenter, so I flipped homes, I flipped houses. I took the hustle right to the streets and did it all legally by flipping cars, houses, anything I get my hands on to make a dollar, and worked every day. And I became a workaholic, and I didn't do what she told me to do, and I didn't work a program, but I stayed clean, and I stayed so clean that I forgot I even was an addict, man, and I don't know how I did it like that. But I tell you what, here's the thing, this is why I relapsed, because I didn't know it. Unconsciously, I was staying sober and clean for her and my little boy. I thought it was all for me until she left me. Until we didn't get along no more, because I changed my life. I used to treat women like shit. I used to cheat on them. I've done the grimiest shit in the world, and I told her about everything I used to do when I was locked up. But when I came home, I don't call women names no more. I didn't put my hands on women. I never really did that. When I was a kid, I had a couple bouts of some bullshit, but I'm just not that type of guy. But I was grimy in every other fucking way, man. When it comes to relationships, friends, not just women, you know. I was grimy in every fucking possible way because I was polluted with the devil's poison my entire life. But when I came home, I got addicted to work, man, and money. Money took me straight to the ground again, and I turned into an evil fucker with the money. When she left me, man, I was left to my own devices again, and I didn't know how to stay clean because I was staying clean for her and my son, and I didn't even know it. I really thought I loved myself and I was staying clean for me, but I wasn't. And as soon as she left, I started getting high. And I drank one time, and I went out, and one night I got fucked up at a bar. I knocked somebody out. I bought an ounce of cocaine. I started selling dope in the same night, tried to sell half of it, went to a house with a bunch of people. I kind of got someone told me in the ear I was getting ready to get robbed. I gave a dude a ride home, not the dude that they were talking about. Went to drop him off. He stepped out of the car, upped on me, put a pistol on me, wanted my dope, wanted the money. Went to give it to him. I had a pistol under my seat. Went to grab it. It hit against the rail. He shot. I grabbed him, pulled him back in the truck after he hit me in the leg. Floored my truck, doing about 85 miles an hour. I fucking hit the biggest tree I could. I tried to kill us both. He was trying to jump out. He wouldn't. He's screaming and begging me to jump out. I got a hold of him. I got it fucking floored, and we're flying out by Lake Springfield, getting ready to hit this big fucking tree because I figured he already shot me. We're going to both die in this motherfucker because I'm not going to jail. Now there's 2 guns in the truck. There's a bag of dope and a lot of money, and he just fucking fired one off on me. We're going to hell right tonight. I got a hold of my punching, man. I'm fucking flying down the country road. He's screaming, please, please let me out. I'll jump, I'll jump. I told him, man, you better take that fucking seatbelt off, brother, or get it off. Because when he jumped right back in, he put that fuck, because he knew we was going to die. Man, as soon as he got the buckle off, I buckled mine up, man, and fucking, I didn't account for the ditch before you hit the tree, and we're fucking flying, man. And I went for the trees, man, but there was that culvert, man, and my truck hit that fucking culvert, man. And dude, buddy, flew out the fucking window like a vacuum. I seen it, left his shoes in the front seat. Boom! There he went out the fucking side window, and I launched in the fucking air. And I hear the trees and shit breaking under my truck, and just fucking, we're flying. I'm airborne, man. And then bam, man, I kind of went out, and I started smelling smoke, and I hear the truck. I'm upside down, all fucked up, man. Hot plastic dripping on my fucking legs and shit, man. And he's like, bro, the fucking truck's off. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck, man. I know we're going to prison forever and shit with all this shit. I don't know what happened, man. I guess they cut me out of the fucking vehicle. Next morning, I wake up in the fucking hospital with 2 shattered legs, man. And they had to take my right leg. That was one relapse. One relapse after 8.5 years clean. You know, they took my right leg from me because I didn't know how to fucking stay clean for myself. I did it for a girl and a little boy. And when they left, so did I. So now, they put me on all the pain meds. The Dilaudid, the Lorcet, the Norco. I didn't drink anymore, and God took that obsession from me when I was in the penitentiary. But now, I walked out of that hospital with one leg and the worst heroin addict and dope fiend that I ever have been in my life. I met a doctor there. My girl left me. My baby's mother left me. I started fucking my doctor, my psych doctor. She was going through a divorce. I laid in the hospital for 4 months by myself. So I started dating my doctor because my baby's mother didn't want nothing to do with me no more. I don't know what this nurse practitioner, this doctor, seen in me. One day she turned around and said she was in love with me. And I was like, oh yeah, God must have sent you too, huh? No, wrong, she was fucking nuts. Hopefully she sees this, Jennifer. But anyway, yeah, I mean, my life was back into the full swing of addiction, man. I sat in my hospital bed and smoked crack and shot heroin and ate every pill I could every fucking day, and I loved it. I fucking loved it. That's just one little story about the clean time. The clean time I had, though, absolutely saved my life because I never ever knew I could stay clean for not even a fucking day, man, unless I was incarcerated or in a psych ward or in a sanitarium. But that 8.5 years I got clean taught me so much about life, and it taught me one thing, that I'm okay without it. I'm okay without it. But I made the conscious decision after that to go back and become a heroin addict and go back into the streets and meet another woman that she's dead now. She died in my arms a year ago of an overdose. We both OD'd. I died on the couch. She went and got in the tub and did a shot and died in the water, and I woke up and found her and tried to give her CPR and bring her back to life. But I'll tell you guys that story too. But I just wanted to kind of let you guys know how I got clean for the first time, and how it was thanks to the Department of Corrections. It was in 2012, and now I'm back at it again, trying to get clean again. And I've made a lot of war stories since then, and lost a lot more since then. But I just want to stay on this thing about, I'm going to show you how I do it in real time, on the fights and struggles every day of staying clean and being me. I'm in Puerto Rico, one of the most beautifulest places in the world. I live in the hood though. The ocean's only about 5 blocks away. And they're beautiful, beautiful tourist places, only a few blocks away, but I live in the hood. I live in Santurce, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and it's very hoodie over here. And there's dope dealers on every corner right outside my door when I go downstairs. And there's a club and a bar on every corner, and I'm fighting to stay alive and fighting to stay clean. I mean, I don't know. I try to do it every day, one day at a time, and I'm filming it. So I have a lot more to share, and a lot more to strategies to this shit, how to stay clean. If you want to stay tuned and fight and come on this journey with me, man. I'm just here to try to help other guys, and maybe you can help me, man. You know, leave me some comments and some posts and shit, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I'll holler at you in just a little while.